Would you rather date someone with diabetes or someone without?
With, obviously. Teeny,
Yes.
would you rather go on a first date and the restaurant is like so quiet, like it's so quiet you could hear a pin drop, like everyone can like hear your conversation pretty much because it's so quiet?
Oh my God.
Or would you rather go on a first date and there's a screaming toddler next to you at the table the entire time?
Oh, wow.
I know.
How long are these dates? Like an hour?
It's like a classic typical dinner date, an hour and a half.
Oh my God.
I don't know how long you take to eat dinner.
I think the screaming toddler, because like, well, how many people are in the restaurant?
I don't know. It's just quiet.
Like it's packed and it's quiet. That would be so awkward. Oh my God, wait, this is such a hard one.
I know, right?
I think like I would get really overstimulated by the kid.
Me too.
And like I think kids belong in public places, so it's fine that the kid is screaming, but I would be overstimulated.
I know.
And then like you're trying to be like all like you're trying to put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
So you can't be like your eye is twitching and the kid is just like screaming in your ear. You're like, can you repeat that, please? But then like you're trying to ask like kind of serious questions on the first date because that's like your interview process.
Yeah, the interview process.
And everyone's listening.
Right.
Oh man. Okay, the toddler is my answer.
Really?
Yeah. What about you?
I would pick the quiet.
But then I feel like you're dating like the entire restaurant.
I know. I'm like, I don't know. I just know that I would be like, I love kids so much, but like I would be so overstimulated. Like I couldn't focus. I would not be able to focus. So I think I would choose the quiet and just like lower my volume. But like me talking, I'm like a loud talker. Like everyone would hear me.
Yeah. I would
like
be
whatever.
I would be like whispering and they'd be like, can you speak up? And
It'd be like, it'd be ASMR dating. But I honestly think I would choose the quiet.
Wow.
Which is crazy because I speak really loudly.
This is like one of the first would you rathers that we've like totally disagreed on.
I know. I was thinking that too. It's the first one that we haven't answered the same.
Wow. I love it. Hot takes. Let us know what you would choose.
Wait, yeah. Let us know because that's actually a really hard one.
That is really hard.
Screaming toddler or so quiet everyone can hear your conversation. First date. And speaking of dating.
Oh,
that's what we're talking about.
Yay.
In relationships in general. Romantic.
Yes.
Romantic.
Please stay on the line and your Diabesties will be with you shortly.
You're listening to Hotline to Her. I'm Carson, your favorite Diabestie.
And I'm Tini, your resident hot diabetic. We're here to help you feel like that girl beyond diabetes.
Yeah, we are.
Ooh.
Okay.
That was good. A little blood sugar roll call?
Let's do it.
I saw that eye roll.
I didn't roll my eyes.
Oh, I thought you were like dreading looking at your blood sugar.
I actually didn't, but like I'll roll my eyes now. My blood sugar, I just like I can't even deal with her today. It's 198. This is the first time I broke 200 in like 5 hours, I think. So
like under 200.
Yeah, under 200.
That 2 points. That's something.
My insulin isn't working. Like it is, but it's not. You know what I mean?
The worst feeling ever.
Anyways, hope you're doing better than me.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
Oh.
I'm 169 diagonal on the way up.
Oh, that's not bad though.
No, it's not bad, but I have carbs on board. Thankfully, insulin on board, but also like my coffee had some syrup in it and drinks just shoot me through the roof.
Yeah, I was 200 and I still got a coffee, but it's fine.
It's fine.
You know what? It's fine.
I'm not gonna restrict myself from a little treaty.
I will never say no to a treat.
Yeah, but will I be slightly annoyed when I miss bolus?
Yes.
Yeah. That's okay though.
But it's fine. That's a future Carson problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, current for me too, but also later.
What?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways. Okay. So
let's get into it.
But before we do, can we tell them about the new hotline that we have because I'm so excited about it. And I know you are too. The hotline is now a phone number that you can call and leave us a message. So if you have a question or a story that you would love to be featured on the podcast, you can just give us a ring and leave us a voicemail. And you can call us at 704-412-9855. And we'll leave that number in the show notes for you.
Yay, we are so excited. And actually, you should go test it out for us. Pause this episode, go give us a ring, leave us a question or story, whatever you're feeling. And then, of course, come back and finish the rest of the episode with us.
Out of the many things that diabetes makes complicated for us,
Things that we have to think about a little bit more than the average person.
more. Yeah. Enter the chat. Romantic relationships.
Romantic and dating and going on dates
Yes.
and first dates and being in a relationship. And yeah, so whether you're in a relationship, you are single, you are getting back into the dating scene, any of that, this episode's for you. And we're talking
and we're talking.
I obviously can't talk. We're going to talk about it all, okay? We're going to talk about all of it. So, because we both have pretty different backgrounds when it comes to, I guess, romantic relationships / dating with diabetes.
Yeah.
Because I was diagnosed during a long-term relationship that I'm still in. You experience dating, first dates and stuff with diabetes. So we have a lot of ground to cover today.
We do. And I think it starts before we can even date. I think it starts with dating ourselves.
100%. Yeah, because diabetes can shift self-image so much.
Yes.
So much. And this applies to whether you were diagnosed as a kid or a teenager like Tini, and you grew into the dating world like with your diabetes and stuff, or you were diagnosed in a relationship already and then that, self-love was needed to be brought into the already current relationship. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think we talk about this a lot. Like, Hotline to Her, becoming her or being her is really about being you wholeheartedly and like loving who you are.
Yeah.
And I think when we think about romantic relationships, what I wish was taught to me is that like we really have to love ourselves for who we are and understand our worth before we jump into loving someone else, or in my case, like hoping someone would love us as we are.
Yeah. And like really telling yourself that none of this changes the fact that you're so deserving of love, and like none of this makes you quote unquote harder to love or to be in a relationship with. I think that's something that I like personally had to tell myself. I'm like, this doesn't make a difference. Like, obviously it's a huge life change, but like I am still as lovable as I was pre-diagnosis.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, and I think like also we accept the love we think we deserve. So if you don't think you're very deserving of good love, then of course you're going to find yourself in bad relationships.
Right.
So like we could have, I think, an entire episode on self-love and how to do that. What's really important is knowing like you are deserving of love. The right relationship for you is out there regardless of what that looks like. And love is love.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's an important one.
Yeah.
Love is love.
Yeah.
So should we like dive into what it's like to be single and dating as a diabetic?
Yes, we should talk about that. No, yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, whether you're in your teens or your 20s or your 30s or your 40s or your 50s, you are hitting the dating scene with diabetes.
Dating.
I think the dating scene is different for men, women, non-binary people.
Yeah, for sure.
Love preferences. What am I trying?
Sexual orientation.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the word.
Love preferences.
Different sexual orientations. Like the dating scene is different, but there are some things that are like common across the board.
Especially when it comes to diabetes.
Yes. And one thing that like talking with other diabetics that I've heard is like the first date, or like when we bring up being a diabetic.
That's something that I've like a question that I've heard, you know, around the diabetic community a lot is, when do I bring up that I have diabetes?
Yeah.
First date, second date, never.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No, please tell people that you have diabetes because it's freaking cool. So personally, I have no experience in this because I was in a relationship pre-diagnosis, the same one I'm in now, like with diabetes, obviously. So when in your dating history, Tini, have you brought up diabetes?
Yeah, it's it's a really unique history because when I was diagnosed at 15, I had a really hard time accepting it. And so like in college, I wouldn't really say anything about it.
Okay.
And then just being like randomly like one day, like, surprise, I have diabetes.
Yeah.
And often when I like would do that, when I'd spring that on people, those partners were mismatches. Like we were not good. They were not good partners for me.
Right.
And especially not a good partner for me as a diabetic.
Yeah.
And I think something that was like really hard for me to understand was like, some people just, they cannot handle being a partner of someone with diabetes.
Right.
And that doesn't necessarily make them a bad person. It just makes them the wrong person.
Yeah.
And
it could be a bad person for you.
Well, yeah. Well, and they could be a bad person depending on how they go about it.
We don't actually know them, okay?
Yes. But what I found like when I was dating was I didn't want to wait to find out if they were a mismatch. Like I wanted to find out right away. And so I would start bringing it up
sooner
in the first date.
I love that. And I was actually going to say, like, when we were thinking about, you know, dating and diabetes and like this episode and stuff, I was like, wait, having diabetes and dating is like kind of a power move to like bring up diabetes on the first date and kind of like skip all the bullshit and be like, are you emotionally mature enough for this, or should I just like stop trying?
Yes.
Because so it's kind of like a way to be like, all right, is this real or what?
Yeah. And like I don't think you have to approach it as bluntly as that. Like,
oh, of course not. Obviously bring it up when it feels comfortable, but like in the time that you bring it up, like
these are the things that happen.
Yeah. And depending on when you talk about it, it's a great way to kind of be like, all right, I'm not messing around. I'm going to tell you about something that's very personal to me, and is a big part of my life. And I want to know if you're, you know, mature enough to handle it and accepting in general, you know?
Yes. But I also mean like, I don't think the conversation has to be that serious. Like I think in your head, all of those things happen. But like when I was going on first dates, like this was before I felt really comfortable taking pictures with my devices showing. So like if I was on dating apps, I probably wouldn't post like early days.
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't post a photo where my device was active. So the first time they're finding out I have diabetes is on the date.
Right.
And I would casually do something diabetes related. Like I would pull out my insulin pump and they would be like, oh, what is that? And I'd be like, oh, it's an insulin pump. I'm a diabetic. Give my insulin. And then if they asked questions, then I would answer.
Okay. I like that.
But I found that like very casually, like pushing it into conversation made it feel better. And like when you are like, hey, I have something to talk to you about.
Yeah.
People are like, oh.
That makes it kind of like puts way more pressure on it than it needs.
Right.
In that moment.
Right. And then it allows like,
that makes sense.
You still get the initial reaction. You still get someone being like, oh, most of the time it's like stupid reactions, to be honest, because some people don't know like how to react. So they're like, oh, that's cool. And you're like, well, that's not really cool, but like you didn't say anything bad.
Right.
And then it allows you to kind of like, if that's an okay response for you, then you leave the door open and you can be like, yeah, like not really many people know about it. So if you ever have any questions, like feel free to ask me. And then you can just move on from the conversation.
Yeah. And I think also allowing like the person that you tell to like sit with it for a second and like not expecting them to have like a perfect answer like 2 seconds after, you know, like allowing them to sit with it. And then like maybe on the third date they're like, so I was actually thinking like, what do you do when you eat this or whatever? And then you're like, oh, that's sweet. They're genuinely interested in like my well-being and my diabetes and stuff. So I think like maybe giving them a minute to like process it, I guess.
Yes. I think that's exactly it. Like letting it like, because you've had this for who knows how long. This might be the first introduction to them that they like they've never maybe even met a person with diabetes before.
Right, exactly.
And now they're going to start dating someone. So it's like, one, use the initial reaction as like your red flag or not. If they're a total like douche about it, like a dick about it, then you can be like, all right, red flag, I'm not going on a second date with this person. But if they're just kind of like, oh, and not very inquisitive about it, I wouldn't necessarily say that's a red flag.
I would agree with that. And say like, give them, you know, another chance to process it, I guess.
Yeah. So. And you might find like slowly, like they might ask a few questions here and there, and they might just not want to be disrespectful or pry too much. And so if you think that having someone super involved in your diabetes management is important to you, then you bring that up when you have more serious conversations, like on the 3rd to 5th date, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. I agree with that. I have a random question.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's diabetic, and they went on a date and like a second date. And because the person they went on a date with found out they were diabetic, on the second date, they brought them sugar-free candy as an act of, you know, to be sweet. But then some people would be like rubbed the wrong way because it's sugar-free. What's your opinion on that? I'm just so curious because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh my God, that's so sweet. But then I'm like, wait, but we can eat like the actual candy too. But I think in that situation, I would be like, oh, they're just trying to be sweet and like nice and stuff. So I'm just curious on your opinion and thoughts.
Yeah, I think that's so thoughtful.
I agree.
And I think it's also like they don't know much. Maybe they did a quick Google and they saw that like diabetics should avoid sugar, which is true for some diabetics. And then you can just take it as a kind gesture and be like, this is so thoughtful of you. Ooh, I love butterscotch. Like, thanks for getting me these. But by the way, my favorite candy is actually Nerds Clusters.
Right.
And they're like, wait, but those have so much sugar in them. And you can be like, yeah, actually, that's what my insulin pump is for. So you can use it as like a gentle like reframe to like kind of educate them. But I think that's so nice.
I think it's
so
sweet
thoughtful.
too. Yeah. My initial reaction when they told me was like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. They're so like loving and accepting, and like I love that. But then I just like, I don't know why it stuck in my brain, and I was like thinking about it. I was like, I wonder what other people would think about it.
Yeah.
So.
I think the really cool thing right now, at least like what my understanding is with the dating scene, with dating apps, is that you do have the opportunity to showcase your diabetes somehow in your profile.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. I never thought about that.
You don't have to say like in big bold letters, I have diabetes on your profile, but you could have like a device showing in a picture.
I think that's so cute.
And then like even if nobody like asks about it and you go on a date, then they're like, oh yeah, I saw that in your profile. I was wondering what that was.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like,
oh yeah, having a photo of it could be a good like segue.
Yeah.
Into like a conversation about it.
Now, is it going to open you up to maybe some not so pleasant messages into your dating profile? Maybe some ignorant comments here and there. Yeah, but it weeds them out. And I think that's what you were saying with the filter. Like, it's so quick. Like, how someone reacts to you being a diabetic, like, you can immediately say, you're not the person for me.
So, like, honestly, advantage alert.
I personally think it is.
But like dating advantage being like, okay, I have something that's so, you know, important to me and such a big part of my life. I want to see how you react to it, and I will be able to know right away if, you know, this is good for me or not.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree.
Kind of cool.
Completely.
Kind of cool.
Yes. Yeah. So then like, I think that then takes us to like, you go on a few dates with this person, you've introduced diabetes to them. How do you like continue to navigate a like long-term relationship introducing diabetes to someone? And this is where we might have some overlap as well. Yeah. Because like, I think back to when like my husband and I started dating. And
wait, when did he find out? Like, how did he find out about your diabetes? Just curious.
Oh my God, wait, this is the cutest story.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Okay. So we met after a football game here in Charlotte,
Mhm.
and it was August time, so it was hot out, and I was
Okay.
wearing a tank top, and so I had my Dexcom on my arm, and this was like peak like flaunt it teeny. Like I was
Hot
just
diabetic
like,
summer teeny.
yeah, no, it really was. Like I just was like, I am that girl, and look at my devices. Like,
Period.
yeah.
Yes,
So
you
I
are.
was just like riding that high. Anyways, so we meet at a bar, introduced by a mutual friend, and we all decide shortly after him and I had met. Like we had maybe talked for like 10 minutes at this bar. The entire friend group was leaving to go to a different spot. So we go outside and we're waiting for an Uber. We're standing on the street corner, and our group's waiting there. And this girl comes walking by, and she's like, "Oh my God, my sister's a diabetic. You look so good.
Oh.
Rock that Dexcom.
Oh my God.
You've got this." And then
I love that.
And then the entire group that I was with, these were like slight friends, like secondary friends.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really hang out with them that much.
Okay.
And then Peyton, my husband, was there. And then the entire group starts doing that. And they're like, "Go Teeny, go Teeny." And like just hyping me up so much.
Oh my
And like
God.
I remember looking to Peyton and seeing like him kind of like rally with the group. And I was like, "Oh my God, this guy's cool."
Period.
And then
Oh,
so just
I
like
love it.
from right off the bat, like I had already known like he was
Yeah.
going to be chill about it.
Mhm.
And so that was like, I didn't even have to have like any super awkward conversations, but
Yeah.
he had never like really been exposed to it that much. So like we had to have conversations of like, how can I support you?
Of course.
And like,
yeah.
what do you need? And I think like for me at that point, I had already had a long-term partner that was very involved in my diabetes
Okay.
management. They had alerts to their phones. There was times where like I wouldn't wake up, so they'd have to like call me and like, and they were very hands-on with
Okay.
it. And
That's sweet.
that was sweet. That's what I needed at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But as I had like before I met Peyton, like I had about 2 years of like being by myself and like
Right.
living on my own and like really finding my power in managing diabetes.
Okay.
And so I was at this point where I was like, I don't need your full like support like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I maybe need you to carry some fruit snacks on you
Right.
occasionally. Maybe get something for me when I'm low. Ask me if I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me vent if I'm having a hard day, but I don't need you to be like, go change your insulin pump or
Yeah.
like, what's your
Yeah.
blood sugar? Things like that. Like I did not want. And so
Fair.
it was like almost easier on him, I guess.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like I didn't need to sit down and be like, I need you to help with X, Y, and Z. It just kind of happened naturally.
Right. No, well, one, I love that story. I love like one of my favorite things is like when you're at a bar and someone is like, "I see your device."
Yes, it's like the best feeling ever.
Everyone's a little bit looser at the bars, you know what I'm saying? And they're just like, "Oh my God, a Dexcom," including myself. If I see someone at the bar and they're wearing an insulin pump, I'm like, "I love you, man." So yeah, love that story. Slay Pagan. But like what you said about your needs changing in a relationship, because I think that's so important to point out. You can have like your needs be much like you need more support, you know, in the beginning of a relationship or at different times during a relationship. Like I think it's so important to name the fact like your needs can change in your relationship and like what you need from your partner can change in every aspect, of course, but especially when it comes to something as important as diabetes. So I think that's something really good to call out. My experience, even in, you know, a relationship where I was in the relationship pre and post diagnosis, I think that kind of overlaps as well, because in the beginning of my relationship, I really leaned on my partner a lot. And like, it was a huge life change that, I mean, we were spending so much time together. We pretty much went through the change together. Like, obviously it's a little bit more on me, of course, but like, I mean, he was right there every step of the way. Like I needed him to help me learn how to live like this, you know, because we were living our life together and still are. And I needed him to help me learn to do that too. So I think in the beginning, I needed a lot more support, but then I feel like post diagnosis, maybe like, I don't know, like a year and a half or 2 years in, maybe like a year and a half in, I did have another conversation. And I was like, you know, my alerts are on his phone and they still are. If we're out and we're not together, like he'll text me if he gets a low alert and be like, "Are you okay?" But like we had a conversation together and I was like, I think that I want to do this a little bit more on my own. And like I could cry thinking about how much support he gave me and has continued to give me in my diabetes pre and during and post diagnosis. But I still was like, you know what, I think I don't need to lean on you as heavily anymore. Like, I can do this a little bit more myself. Thank you for everything. And obviously, like, now I think my needs are, he'll just, if I'm low and if I tell him that, he'll be like, so are you good? Like, do you need me to get you anything? And that's pretty much the extent of it. And I'm like happy with that and I'm okay with that. Whereas before it was like I was like, oh my God, I have no idea what a low blood sugar is. Can you sit with me through this type of thing? Because I didn't know and I was terrified. But now that I know more, I'm like, okay, he just asked me if I need something and that's okay with me. So I think all that to say, like, it is so okay for your needs to be ever changing, whether you're dating or in a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's so important to recognize.
Mm-hmm.
And like, even on a day-to-day basis, like
yes,
when you said the thing about the low, I was like, there are some times where I text Peyton and he's downstairs and I'm like, please, I'm so scared.
No, exactly.
I need you to sit with me.
Exactly.
Or I battle the low by myself and he has no idea it happened.
Exactly. It is ever changing, literally, like you said, day to day. Like, I will have lows and I'm like, can you please get the glucagon and sit next to me because I'm getting a little bit scared. Like, I need support. And then like last night we were in the kitchen and he was trying to have a conversation and one of my low symptoms is like, I do not want to talk, which is really funny because I love talking. Like, I go mute when I'm low. And I literally was like, please, I love you, but I can't speak to you right now. I'm low. I need to be alone right now. Thank you. Like, it's so crazy how much it can differ. Yeah. And I think like that also goes to show like partners of people that have diabetes are obviously some of the coolest people on earth. And like, they're just so patient. And obviously they have to be because we also are being patient with our bodies at the same time. But like, being like a partner to someone with diabetes, I just think that they deserve major props because their patience is unmatched and their unconditional support is so real.
Right. Well, and I think too, the other thing that I was hearing was the adaptability.
Yes.
And so that would be like, there are like probably some qualities that I had to learn, unfortunately, the hard way. And I'm sure a lot of diabetics have, like when they're looking for their person, some personality traits don't jive well with being a person with diabetes. Like, one, they have to be accepting of it, but two, they have to understand that like this does affect you on a day-to-day basis and an hour like minute-to-minute basis.
And it might end up like secondhand affecting them too. Like, we have to pause and we're late to an event because I had a low blood sugar or something like that, and like it might affect you as well sometimes.
Yeah. And so it's really important, I think, to find someone who's kind, patient, understanding, and adaptable.
100%.
But above all else, I think all of those things come with loving you as a whole human being.
Yeah.
As someone with diabetes. And as much as we say like diabetes doesn't define us, like that is true.
Yeah.
But there are factors that impact our day-to-day life and impact the person we are with. Yeah. And I feel like, so we're obviously in serious relationships.
Yeah.
But I feel like some of these things like could and should also be applied to more casual romantic relationships.
Yeah, of course.
Like situationships, just dating, hookups. Yeah, like I think it's still important to find someone who cares about your well-being.
Yeah, and respects the fact that like you have something that is very, you have to pay attention to that as well. Yeah.
And so like maybe your hookup doesn't know the ins and outs of your day-to-day life, but they know like this is what might affect the time we are together.
Exactly.
I think you have to be very open at all levels. Of course, you're not relying on them to manage your diabetes because that's like probably a different arrangement.
Right.
They might be like, oh, that's like wife duties or that's husband duties. Like that's not where we're at.
Yeah.
But like they have to know like, hey, I got to take a 10-minute break because my blood sugar is low and my health is a priority.
Exactly. And I think that like that's really important to make sure of. Like, I think that still making sure that there's that like mutual respect of your health and like the patience that sometimes comes along with that, and just making sure that that's very much present.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's very easy for us to, like, in our minds be like, well, the relationship doesn't have that much weight,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to bring up something that is like very prevalent in my life because like it's not really going to affect them. But I think it doesn't matter if it's affecting them, it's affecting you.
Exactly.
This is something that you deal with. You might
Exactly.
need to like take up more space for. And like it's kind of similar to like your friends. Like you wouldn't go out to dinner and ignore your needs
Right.
with your friends. So you wouldn't go out to
Right.
dinner with a date and ignore your needs. So now we're going to play a game called Green Flag, Red Flag.
Green flag, red flag.
And we're just going to go back and forth and say different scenarios to each other and whether they think they're a green flag or a red flag in dating.
Yes. With diabetes.
With diabetes, obviously.
We kind of already did this with the sugar-free thing, so
That was a really cute green flag.
I think a green flag too,
yes.
for sure.
Okay. You pull out your phone, you go to Bolus on a date, and they say, what is that? Green flag or red flag?
What tone do they say it in?
Um,
Like a, what is that? Or like a, what is that?
so valid. So valid. I think genuine like curiosity. What is that?
I would honestly say green,
Me too.
because it gives you the space to educate them and talk about it, and like for it to come up organically,
Yeah.
and they're curious.
I think on a
about your
first
life.
date, if they're not curious about you, red flag.
Agreed.
I would almost you like even say it kind of bluntly if your response back to what I say it is normal.
Wait, what?
Like if you were like, what is that?
Oh,
And you're like, oh, it's my insulin pump. I have diabetes. And they're like, oh, cool. Or they're like, tell me more about it.
yeah.
Then I would excuse the snarky, like,
Okay,
what
yeah.
is that?
Right. Yeah,
But I think the curiosity is a green flag to me.
I would agree. Curiosity, green flag. Okay, you're meeting the person you're seeing for a date, but you have a low blood sugar like on the way, so you have to stop, and then you end up being like 15 minutes late, and then they are annoyed with you for the rest of the date.
Red flag if they're annoyed for the rest of the date, but fine if this is like the first time it's happening and they're not annoyed the whole time. They're just like slow to like understand that this is a thing. Like I think you can be annoyed for like 10 minutes max, then
Yeah.
get over it. Ideally, you're not annoyed at all.
Right, exactly.
Like annoyed, like ideally you're like, oh my God, are you okay?
Right.
Move on. I don't know. Is
Yeah.
my standard low for that?
No, but no. I think I would just say red flag because like I'm taking care of myself, bitch. So that's why I would say red flag. But maybe
Yeah.
my standards too. Actually, no, my standards
No,
are too
your
high.
standard's not too high. I think it's like how much grace do we want to give someone that we're seeing?
Yeah.
That's a good point too. Everyone's gonna have different thresholds.
Different thresholds. That's so important.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the other thing that kind of reminded me of though is like don't make excuses for shitty behavior.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I
That's
think
such
it's
a big one.
I think it's
in
you have-
general.
yeah.
Not just
yeah.
diabetes.
You have a learning curve, of course, and like make up
Yeah.
in your head like, okay, I think 5 dates of a learning curve and like being respectful, but like there's new things that come up every time. I think.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of like after the 5th date, if you're still like moving slightly weird about diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
you're not the person for me.
I agree.
And that's I'm not saying they're like absolutely insane for 5 dates. Like, no, you wouldn't make it past the second if you were absolutely insane. But I'm saying
yeah.
if on the 5th date I was late and you were like slightly annoyed by it, and then at the end of the date you were fine, I'd be like, okay, maybe I'll try that again. Maybe not the 5th date, maybe the 3rd date.
Yeah. I'm
The
like,
3rd.
maybe I just have like no tolerance
No,
for people.
like I think that's I don't know. I think it depends on so many different factors.
It
Are there
really
any
does.
other
It
red
really
flags?
does.
I don't think it's a full deal breaker for me
Yeah.
early on.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm like, deal breaker.
And that's okay too.
No, but like if I'm trying to take care of my health and then you're annoyed by that, red flag.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, and that is valid too. Like if you're actively doing it and they're like,
Yeah.
okay, you're a month into dating, you meet their friends, and their friends ask them what's on your arm and they don't know how to explain it.
Red flag.
Red flag.
Yeah.
A month.
A month is, yeah, that's so much time.
That's so
to
much
learn.
time.
Even if, like, yeah, red flag. Yeah, they should know. And then also, why are their friends not asking you?
Well, maybe they like ask when you go to the bathroom or something like that because they
Oh.
don't want to be rude.
Oh, okay. I'm like, ask me. I'm sounding like so aggressive. But no, I would say red flag. Would you say red flag too?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
Yeah.
I think you should at least be able to say, "Oh, she has diabetes."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's an issue.
You don't
That's
need to
an
be like,
issue.
"Oh, that's her Dexcom G7. It's a continuous glucose monitor that reads her blood sugar every 2 minutes."
Actually, if you don't say that, red flag. Okay. You're 2 months into dating now. They know you have diabetes. They've sat through some lows and highs with you and everything, you know?
Yeah.
You're at a bar. They go get you a drink. They come back and it is a vodka cranberry. Like full cranberry juice.
Icky.
Icky. Red flag, green flag.
And
your blood sugar's not low.
I was gonna say, are we into the night where we're like dancing, grooving on the dance floor?
Oh, that's actually so hard though. Okay, in this context, no. You're starting your night. They're like, I'm gonna go get you a drink. They come back. They know that they know that you don't order that.
Yeah,
And they
red
come back
flag.
and it's like full sugar drink.
Yeah. Red flag. I think full sugar drink, unless I ask for it, red flag.
I
But
would think so too.
I think like
I don't know, maybe we're being too mean.
I think like it's about the preferences too, and like, do you actively know me?
Right. Yeah, it
It's
comes down to
not-
knowing what you like.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
for
not
sure.
about, in this case for me, it's not about diabetes. It's knowing that like
Mm,
I choose not to have a sugary drink. The reason is because I have diabetes.
right.
But like,
I know diabetics who also drink vodka cran.
yeah,
So.
it's like,
Yeah.
do you know that? Are you
Right,
paying
exactly,
attention to
exactly.
that?
Yeah.
And by 2 months in, I would hope you've taken me on enough dates to know my drink order.
Yes. However, if I'm actively dancing, my blood sugar is dropping. Perfect. That is when it would be a green flag.
Yeah.
So I think they need to be able to assess the situation too.
Oh, wow.
I'm putting a lot of
You're
a
like,
lot of pressure.
I do not want to be your partner.
Oh gosh.
You got them on boot camp over there.
Love you, Adam.
That's good.
That's so
good.
funny. I
Okay.
like throw the drink in their face. Just kidding. I would never do that. I'm not mean, guys. Promise.
That's so funny. No, that's like when you think through like scenarios in your head. Like, if I was like just truly unhinged, what would I do? Who do you think I am? I could never
I personally
imagine.
can never do that, but I would love to see someone do that.
Yeah, me too. I don't think I would. I don't think I have ever thrown a drink at someone.
I don't think I have either. Like
I
that
never
would be
like.
really
Thankfully,
crazy.
I've never been in the scenario where I felt like I needed to.
Same. If you have a video of yourself throwing a drink at someone, send it to me. I want to see it.
You probably did it for an iconic reason. So
Exactly. We want to celebrate it.
celebrate your wins. Okay.
Do you have any more?
Yeah, you're in a serious relationship. You're having a slumby. And
Okay.
your low blood sugar alarms go
that's a
off
good
in the
one.
middle of the night.
Yeah.
And okay, I have 2 scenarios here.
Okay.
The first one, and I think I know the answer. I have a lot of scenarios. They don't wake up for your low blood sugar alert to check on you. Red flag, green flag.
That's hard. Can it be neither? Like,
Neutral.
yeah, I think neutral flag.
Hmm.
Because like I think neutral flag because I don't expect them like to wake up to every single low that I have.
Yeah.
Like if I'm trying to wake them up and like ask for help and they don't wake up and help me, red flag. But if it's just like a low that I can just like quickly eat gummies and go back to bed, neutral flag ? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say like younger me probably would have been like, that's a red flag. Why do you not care about
Yeah.
me? But
Yeah.
like as I get older, I'm like, actually, if I can handle it myself, I will. And also they should be able to sleep.
No, I agree because yeah, I'm like, I want to sleep too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think unless I like actively need help and I'm trying to wake them up and they're like, get away from me.
Yes. If they're like, I'm trying to sleep. Oh, hell no. red flag. Well, go sleep on the couch in your own home. Yeah, okay. Neutral flag for me. But like if you're trying to ask them for help and they're like, I'm trying to sleep, red flag, red.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. I think in like when I was first diagnosed, I would have been like, you need to wake up. But like now I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. And yeah, it really just depends on your level of, I think this is a big one, agreed support.
Ooh, that's a good thing. It needs to be like, you need to have a conversation about it.
For
like talking about it. That's a really
sure.
good thing to talk about.
It's important like for you to have your list of standards and for you to be realistic about what you're asking someone else to do for you.
So true. And then to actually communicate your needs.
Right.
Because like there's no, if he wanted to, he would, is a hot take for me personally. I don't like that saying, but there's no if he wanted to, he would in terms of diabetes, because like you need to actively educate and advocate for yourself and express your needs.
Yes. I've actually heard this one a little bit when people are like, I went on a date, I told someone I had diabetes and they didn't even look up or educate themselves on what it is. It's like, that's not their responsibility. If you want them to know about your life with diabetes, because everyone's life looks different anyways, you have to actively open up and communicate that to them.
Right.
Yeah. So I agree with you on that. So then it's like with your standards in a relationship, the same way you would with any other type of standard in a relationship. Hey, I like to go on dates. Hey, I need open communication. Hey, I need this. You also need to communicate what you need with diabetes.
Yeah. Ooh, that's so important. And like, I'm like really big on love languages. And so it's like, if you're saying like, this is how I feel loved in my everyday life with this, express how you feel loved in terms of diabetes too. Like, this is what makes me feel supported in diabetes. And this, I don't really care so much about this part, you know?
Yeah. I think
tell them that because they don't know.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. What do you think about your partner having their own boundaries with what they help you with?
I guess it depends on what they are. Like my initial thought is like, it's their life too, but at the same time, they're not living with diabetes.
Right. They're not living with diabetes. So
they're living with a person with diabetes, but their body is not living with diabetes. So I guess it depends on like what the boundary is, I guess. Everyone's allowed to have their boundaries though.
Yeah. I'm imagining like you go to your partner and you say, hey, I would like help with this, and maybe the other thing is like you wake up during my nighttime low blood sugars and make sure I'm okay. And they say, actually, I'm happy to help you with 1 and 2, but I'm not going to be waking up in the middle of the night.
I think that's fair because relationships at the end of the day, like the bottom line is mutual respect, you know, supporting each other's needs, loving each other. And I think that, you know, if they don't want to wake up for your lows, then that is something that is a mutual respect thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. And so you as a person with diabetes, when you enter any sort of relationship, I think it's important to maybe think about before you even enter these relationships, what your non-negotiable support looks like.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Maybe it's important for you to like rank these too.
Yeah.
Like ideal person would do and help me with all of these things. I'm flexible on this list of things and I don't want this.
Yeah.
And then you can go out there and I think like one, you can hold out for the perfect partner, or you can find someone who is like perfect in all ways except they disagree with some things they want to help you with diabetes. And so I think it's up to you to decide whether you want to be like and have that like back and forth, that give or not. And as I'm saying this too, I'm just thinking like, yes, our needs are important, but they are our individual needs.
Yeah, exactly. And
like
every single person has needs. And that's like the end of the day, like what a relationship is.
Yeah.
Supporting each other's needs and with mutual respect.
Yes. And I think with that, I'm thinking like there are some things you're probably going to have to do without the support of your partner.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not to be like elitist when saying like, you have to help me with this because I have diabetes. It's like,
Exactly.
I'm sorry, sometimes that just might not happen.
Exactly.
Now, don't date someone mean.
Yeah, date someone that respects your diabetes because you are carrying a lot of shit, okay?
Yes.
We're not negating any of that, of course, but like also they have needs too, and we have to remember that.
We don't have to like put the full burden on them, but they are probably, if they are your person, very happy to help carry it.
Yes, they probably want to help carry it.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I agree. So go out there, date it up.
Yeah, get your romance on, get your hookup on. The one thing we didn't talk about was being intimate with diabetes, which
that's a big one.
We actually want to dedicate a whole episode to because I feel like it's so nuanced. There's so much for us to think about.
And it's not talked about enough.
No, it's
like
really
intimacy and diabetes is like a huge thing that
Huge.
you have to think about so many things. You really do. And like everyone's like, but like you have to, I don't know if everyone's screaming like that, but no, there's so many things you have to think about. So we want to do a whole episode on intimacy and diabetes for sure.
Yeah. So this is just some green frogs, red flags.
Green frogs and red frogs. I thought you said green frogs.
Green frogs. And that's a green frog for me. But yeah, the biggest thing we want you to take out of this is that you are deserving of love. You're deserving of your perfect partner, whatever that looks like to you.
You're not harder to love because of diabetes at all.
Not a single bit.
In fact, it makes you that much more badass and cool. Okay.
And I would actually argue too, like, you're just trying to keep things unique and special. And different every day. Keep them on their toes.
Oh, yeah.
What personality are you going to get today? High blood sugar Tini.
Low blood sugar Carson.
Mute.
Crickets.
We love it. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to Hotline to Her. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review. The hotline is now open if you have a question or story you would like to share with us and be featured on the podcast. We can't wait to hear from you. Stay hot.
And chat soon. Bye.
And that's a wrap.
Woo! Hotline to Her is for educational and entertainment purposes only and reflects personal experience. It is not medical, mental health, or therapeutic advice.